Hello all. So this is the fifth episode of RxJS specific to our Angular. Like when we are using RxJS in Angular, so what things we should know, considering interview also, because in interview also RxJS plays very important role because so many things, so many scenarios are there which interviewer will ask definitely when we talk about the interviews. Now, till now we have completed all the basic and the advanced thing. Now, RxJS why it plays very important role, because you may know like whenever we talk about industry or let's say enterprise application, we have reactive form, right? So in almost big project and the enterprise level application project, everyone will go for the reactive form. And in reactive form there are so many things we can do with RxJS, right? Say let's say value changes, form changes, missing status changes, observable, debouncing, right? Combine latest, we use combine latest so many places, right? So these are the things which we are going to discuss now. First of all, the basic work I have done, like I have created a component, in that I have created a small reactive form also, and this I have binded to my HTML also. Let me show you the HTML also, UI also. So this is the UI. Now inside this, whatever possible we normally do, that I'm going to cover. First of all, let's say we have this name, and consider like once the name value get changed, once user change the text box value of this name, you need to do some code, right? In normal template form, what you do, that ng model change or change event or key up, key down, you write. But here we can do the reactive way. Same thing we can do, means once the text box value change, you need to write some code. So here with reactive form with RxJS, we can do a reactive programming. Okay. So let's see how. So where is our text box? So this is our text box, and this text box we have binded with the name control. Okay. So now let's say I need to write the code once the name value get changed. So what I can do, let's implement our ng on init. In ng on it, I will do the subscription. Fine. Now in ng on init, what we need to do, whenever the control value of this name control get changed, I need to write some code. So obviously we have to react on it, right? So how do we do that? So this dot our user form, because our control is in our user form, dot controls, square bracket, single quote, which control you need? Name. So this you need to put it over here. This is where you get the access of that particular control. Now you need to react to the changes. So dot value changes. Okay. Now if I hover on this value changes, see what it is returning? Observable. So if something is returning observable, obviously we can subscribe to it, right? So let's subscribe to it. So dot subscribe, or basically string data we will get. Let me just add a debugger, because so many people understand debugger very properly. Console, sometimes it get difficult to understand console, but when actually debugger execute, you understand properly. That's why I prefer the debugger. Now see, whenever I type something, see, our subscribe got executed, means we are reacting to the value changes of this particular control, and whatever the value you get, see over here, you get the, in result you get the A. Continue. If I type B, C, in the result you get AB. So this is dynamically, means you are actually reacting once the text box value get changed. So this is your value changes on every specific control, right? There are so many scenarios while working, like on this text box value get changed, on this drop down value get changed, we need to write something. So this is how we do in reactive form. And this is possible because of RxJS. We are, because value changes emit observable data and we are subscribing to it, whatever the data it is emitting. Clear? Value changes. So this is currently value changes we have done inside a specific control. But let's say we don't have a form. Okay. Let's say above this form, or yeah, let's above this form, I have a normal text box above the form. Okay. Let's say type text. Let's say placeholder search. So I have this text box. This is independent text box. Now, let's say this text box, I need to bind it with reactive form. So how do we do that? We can create, instead of creating the whole form and control, we can individual create the form control also. Search control colon. What I'm going to store? Form control instance. So form control is equal to new form control. So what I have did, individual form control I have created. Just like in template also, you create a normal variable and you bind that using ng model. Same thing what I have done it over here. I have created a form control. Now this form control, I can bind it over here also. Square bracket, form control. Why it's not suggesting form control? It should be in the property binding, square bracket, square bracket. Fine. Let's initialize some value just to test ABC. So we have created a form control. That form control we have binded to our individual text box. Let's see now. See, our text box is rendered with that value. So our form control and our text box is connected now. Got it? Now, how we have written the form value changes over here? Now, let's try with the individual control. Same thing. Okay. So our individual control is, so instead of getting it from the form, this dot search control dot value changes directly. Here also see now. Up till over here, we were getting the access of the particular control. Now here we directly have the access of the control over here. So same thing we will do it over here. Value. Why it's not suggesting value changes? Wait, something is wrong. Sorry, search control. No? I picked up wrong something. Dot subscribe. Data type string. Console. I'm just printing console.log. And whatever the value you user type search text, I'm going to print it over here. Fine. Let's test it. So just pay attention to the console. Once I change the value, see, let's add a space and then you can see it properly. Fine. See, you can see once we tap the value, our console is getting printed. Means our subscribe is executing that many time and we are able to read the text box value also. Got it? So same thing what we have done with form control, your form group, and same thing we can do with individual control also, value changes. Now, here what we are doing, we are reacting to the specific control. What if I want to react whenever any of the value, any of the form value got changed? Means user did any changes in your form, you need to write some code. So we can subscribe to the whole form value also. So just like this dot user form dot value changes. See here also we have the access of value changes. So overall form also we can uh, react to the form value changes. And here we will get the complete form value. Let's add a debugger and let's see now. So here let's comment this. I don't want the debugger over there. So now let's see. So if I change, let's say password. Wait, we disable the debugger. Let's change the age. See, we got the debugger and in form value, you can see we got the updated object. Age is 1. If I change it to 15, see in the age we got 15. Let's say if I pass something in the confirm password 1. See confirm password 1. So whole form value you get the object what we normally send it to the API, right? So everything you got over here. So form value changes either you can write it on control also, individual control also, or overall form also. Okay. Now there is one thing status change. Okay. But for status change now I first need to let's say I need to add or I need to enable or disable something. Then I explain the status changes. So if you see the form, we have let's say if user provided the password, our scenario is if user provided the password, I want to make confirm password as mandatory. By default, we don't keep it as mandatory, but once user provide the text box value in the password, I want to make confirm password as also as a mandatory. Fine. So let's first do that. So currently you can see on both the thing we have the validation, right? So let's remove it. By default, I'm not adding any validation now. So once password value get changed, I need to make confirm password as mandatory. So again, I can write the value changes. Okay. So this dot user form dot controls square bracket single quote on which control I need to add password. If password value got changed, dot value changes dot subscribe round bracket result colon any. Fine. So what I have written password. I have specifically selected my password control. Then I'm writing the value changes. Now here we can just write a if statement like if value is not empty, if result is not equal to empty, what I need to do, I need to add a validation to confirm password. Okay. So here this dot user form dot controls. Again, I need to select the specific control that will be confirm password. It will go over here dot add validators. Here I'm going to add a validation. Which validation? A validation we can add multiple. So we can pass the array. So validators dot required. So see, once user provide the text box value, so means once user provides some text value in the text password, I'm making confirm password as mandatory. Now my form status got changed because something enable and means validation got changed. Or let's make this enable also. By default, we will keep it as disabled. So this now how do we disable it also? So user form dot controls on the page load. What I'm going to do? Our confirm password will be disabled. Dot disable. Fine. Let's see if it is disabling or not. Yeah, it's disabled. And once user provide this text box value password, then only we will enable it. So over here, we will add the required also. And then this dot, what do we say? Again, user form. We need to enable it. Dot enable. So with Rxjs, I'm explaining reactive form things also. Both the topics we are covering. Okay. Now let's test it. If I change the text box value, see my text box got enabled. Validation also got added, but we didn't add it, right? Now my form value, something status got changed. Either it is enable, disable, either you add any validation, remove any validation, set some value, something is doing. So overall status change, you have a callback. So here this dot user form dot status changes. See, status changes will also returning observable. So we can subscribe to it. Let's see how many time it get execute. Okay. Just a moment. So now, once we change the text box value, first like our form value got triggered. Once I continue, see status value also we got and what we got invalid. Okay. Again, status value got changed. See, because once we change the text box value, we are doing two things. First, we are adding a dynamic validation and we are enabling also. So whatever the things you do with form, either you add a dynamic validation, remove it, enable, disable for everything. Whenever any status value get changed, this debugger will execute. Okay. So these are all things what we can do with value changes and this. Okay. Now, so if you see the form, we have password and the confirm password. Whenever we see password and the confirm password, obviously we have to check like if password is same or not, means both the text box has the same value or not. So here we can do, what do we say? Combine with. Okay. So now I will explain combine with. How do we use the, it's not a reactive form concept, but with the help of our reactive form, we can do that. Okay. So let's check combine latest. So now here we have two control password and the confirm password. So if both the password and the confirm password value get changed, we need to write some code. We need to check like if both the values are same or not, and then we will show the validation or something. So here, mm, so combine latest. Okay. So combine latest is a operator which allows us to combine multiple observable. And if any of the value get changed, it will execute. Combine latest. Okay. Just like that, we have combine latest in is combine latest with, if we want to start with something. So with we use. Okay. So combine latest we will use. Now here we need to pass array of observable. Array of observable means nothing but our value changes. So password 1. This is first observable and the second observable for the confirm password. Like this. So here you can see we are using combineLatest, which allows to combine multiple observable. Okay. Now here we will write the subscribe. Okay. Now here we need to check. Now here we will get the array also. Instead of that, let's say password, and instead of round bracket, here we can directly get the array pwd comma confirm pwd. Okay. Now here we will something, I have a variable over here, which will, this variable I'm using or no? Yeah, I'm using it over here. If, why it is saying ng? Okay, just the deprecation. Fine. So here, this variable, we will decide like if both the text box value are same or not. So here we can simply write this dot password mismatch is equal to pass pwd and confirm pwd. If both has the value or not, then pwd is not equal to confirm pwd. Let's see. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, password do not match. If I pass 1, 2, 3, the error is there. If I change something, see, if any of the value I'm changing, it is reacting 1, 2, 3. And if I change the confirm password, see, it is reacting. If I change password again, see. So combineLatest will allows you to combine multiple observable, and if any of the observable value get changed, then you can write some code. Got it? So this is also use case of your, what do we say? RxJS operator combineLatest. Okay. So I think we have covered everything. CombineLatest debouncing. Okay. So one more thing like debouncing, like debounce operator also I will say over here. So we have this search box. Consider on this text box, once the text box value get changed, you are making some API call, right? But with every character type, you should not be making the API call. I think I have covered this already in the interview series, but let's revise one more time because we are focusing on the RxJS, right? So let's say if the text box value get changed, you want to trigger an API call. But for every key value, you don't have to trigger the API call, right? We should give user some time to type. Then you, if user is ideal, then only we should make the API call, right? So for this search box, we will make debouncing scenario implementation now. So how we do that? So this dot, our search control dot value changes. Now we will use the pipe operator. Okay. Now here we can use debounce time operator. So debounce. Why it's not suggesting? Debounce time. Okay. Let's say we want to give user at least 1 second to type. So 1 second. Then one more like debounce is there. Then we can finally subscribe also. Okay. So after debounce, we can subscribe. String. Let's print console. So we just need to check how many times this search box will print. We have search control already here. Now let me comment this for now. Let's see now. So if I change the value, see, let's remove the first. What I will do, I will comment this. We will just uncomment the first one. Just see the scenario, how it behaves. This is where we are directly subscribing to the value changes. Okay. See how many times console will get printed. See, Once user change the text box value, every time console is getting printed. So we cannot make a API call on every key value change. We have to give some user, we have to give user some time to type. Let's say he is typing mobile, right? So we have to allow him to type. Then we should, once he is idle, then we should make the API call. So this is not happening in the normal case. But if we use this debounce time, see now, same thing. See, then it got printed. Means user, that debounce time is allowing to add a delay of 1 second. Within 1 second, if user types something, again it will wait for 1 second. So if there is an ideal of 1 second, then only it will trigger. Okay. So this is how we use the debounce time operator also. With this is debouncing basically what we doing. Again, with here we will have switch case and so many things will be the distinct until chain, but basically debouncing. So this is that operator what we use. Okay. So I hope this RxJS specific series is helpful to you. So many guys have already reached out to me with questions. If you have any, you can also reach out. Again, in the video description, you can find the WhatsApp channel where you will get my contact detail and you can connect with me directly. Fine, that's it. One or two more video will be there in this series because I'm almost at the end. If you think like some scenarios I have missed, you can feel free to reach out to me. Let me know. I will cover that in the next. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys.